Hi, thanks for watching. What we're working on today is a 2002 Nissan Maxima. It left my wife stranded at the bottom of a hill yesterday, and what we're going to do is we're going to run the code reader on it and see if it will tell us what's wrong with it. We did get it to restart and got it back, but now it only starts and runs intermittently. So typically what happens when you develop a problem with the vehicle, like a camshaft position sensor, is it'll have difficulty starting, and sometimes it'll stall or stop running altogether. So here I am just doing a cold start after it's been sitting overnight. Seeing it doesn't want to go. Third shot it probably goes. See, it's very hard to start. And of course it throws the check engine light. So hooking it up to the OBD port right underneath the dash on the Maxima, it's right here. It's real easy to plug in. See how easy it is? That's what it looks like. I'm going to go in right here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to run the code scanner and see if it will tell us what's wrong with the car. All right, codes. Read codes. Camshaft position sensor A, circuit bank 2. First thing we have to do is remove the engine's plastic cover. Have to remove these 4 screws. So, showing you where camshaft position A is, it's right here, right in there. You see the green connector? That's the one we're going to remove. The other camshaft sensor is over here towards the firewall, making it a little easier to film this, and also maybe make it a little easier for me to get in and change this out. I'm going to remove this one piece of hose, pull it up out of the way. I have to loosen it up here too, so I can rotate it up out of the way. There we go. Now we can see what we're doing. There we go. So now, looking down over here, we can see this connector. Okay, and it's got a button that you push to release it. Sometimes they come off a little difficult, but usually they pop right off. I'm going to try to grab it and just pop it loose. Okay, I just felt it click, so it should just come right out. Right, there we go. There's the connector. If you see this little thing right here, you just push this down to release it, and then when you push it back on, it'll pull back and it'll snap back into place. So there it is right there in the down position. So pretty straightforward. They're usually hard to break. I'm going to take a 10mm wrench, and I'm going to come in and loosen this one fastener that holds this camshaft position sensor in place. Sometimes they're a little tough to break loose. That one wasn't too bad. It's already loose. And I'm just going to come in and walk this out. It's basically finger tight. And you want to make sure you don't drop it. Removed. And then I'm just going to come in and I'm going to twist it out. Usually they come out pretty easy. Wow, that came out like real easy. This one's been in there since it was new. So now we're going to grab a new one. Okay, so same connector, same configuration. So the other thing we're going to do To ease installation, I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on the O-ring, and it doesn't take much. Just get in there and smear it all on. Get my hair off of it. It just needs to be a little slippery. I just put just a little bit of oil on. It just makes it slide in. Just to ease installation. Alright, we're just going to come down here. We're going to stick it in that hole right there. Just like that. It helps if you rotate as you press. Snap, you hear it pop in. You see it's fitting flush against the cylinder head. Then all I have to do is take my screw and put it in the hole and then snug it up. Right, and it's a 10mm wrench. I'm just going to come in and just snug this up. Just about got it. Yep, that's good and snug. Just needs to be snug. Now I can take my connector, this, and you can see how it's pushed down like that. It's going to push up as I slide it on, and this part with the notch in it is going to go over this part with the notch in it. It's going to go on just like this. You should hear it audibly click into position. Click, and you lift up on it, it won't come off. Installation is complete. Did so well on the first camshaft position sensor. I'm going to go ahead and replace the other cam sensor on the firewall side, but there's a little bit more work I have to do to get this out, so I'm going to have to remove the airbox, or at least part of it. So I have a 10mm socket. Remove this fastener right here. If I make it long enough. This thing's ready to go to China. Okay, we'll worry about that later. Then we're going to, I don't want to fold that out. Okay, that should have plenty of tension released off of that. Oh yeah, this should come right out. Magnets are indispensable when you're working on these cars. So I see where the fastener went that I dropped before. I'll go right down here and fish it out. There she is. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to undo the mounts on the entire airbox. I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to do this so I can lift it out of the way. Here's my trusty magnet again so I don't lose this one. Just toss this on the table. Okay. So we're just going to move this out of the way a little bit. Like that. I'm going to get down in here and I'm going to release this green connector. It's going to be the same dealio. They're kind of hard to get off, especially when you're doing it blind. Sometimes you got to get in there with a pair of pliers, because this one is really making me work for it. So I'm probably going to get in there. But actually this one, I'm going to go ahead and take it out first so I can get to it. I'm just going to grab my 10mm wrench. I'm going to get down in here and crack this loose. Easier said than done. All right, there she goes. And usually these fasteners, because usually they have a little bit of motor oil on the threads. Usually these things weep a little bit when they get age on them. Usually once you crack them loose, you can back them out with your fingers. It's so quicker this way. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. All right, we'll put that somewhere for easy reference, and this should just pull right out real easy. Oh yeah, it just fell out. This O-ring gave up the ghost a long time ago. So there's that infamous connector that needs to be pushed down. See if you can hear it click when I do it. Usually once you get them pushed down, usually they come out pretty easy. I have to be able to get in here and grab it. I don't know if you can really see what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. It came right out. And you can see this O-ring's completely compressed, and it's been leaking for a while. That's probably where some of the oil drips in the driveway came from, besides my rocker covers. Hint, hint, next video. So let's go ahead and we'll get that hole wiped out a little bit. It's kind of hard to say. We just don't want any grit getting reintroduced into the engine. Okay, that's good and clean. Yeah, you can see the hole right there. Yep. Okay. The new one for this side, and you can see it's the same. So there actually are two different sensors, even though there's bank 1 and 2. One has an angled sensor, an angled connector like I showed you before, and then here's the one that's not angled. I don't know why this one's a different color than the other replacement one. It's the same brand. So I'm going to do the same deal. I'm just going to lube up this O-ring a little bit, and then I'm going to slip it in. Doesn't take a lot, and then we'll and actually, before we put this one in the hole, because this one is such a joy to get to, I think I'm going to put the connector on first. This should prove interesting. I'll get down underneath. I don't know if you can really see what I'm doing. You can kind of see the connector. I'm just going to come in and force it on like that, and then I'm going to have to pull up on that green thing. Sometimes they don't want to come up on their own. Yep, okay, it's in. So now the only thing I have to do is get this down there in the hole. Yep, okay, and that should just rotate right in. So there we go. That's in. Grab my screw. Try not to drop it. I really don't want to drop it. There we go. All I have to do is the same deal. I'll put this in finger tight and then I'll snug it up with the wrench. So I went ahead and changed out both sensors. That way you guys can see what it takes to do both of them. Not a huge job, but and I actually was lucky. The code reader, if you remember, it showed that I had a problem with I think it said bank 2, which is the one that's towards the radiator. This is the one towards the firewall. But since the car's 18 years old, I figured I'd go ahead and just get in here and change both of them out. So our 2002 Maxima is part of our fleet. Basically, my million-mile garage is really because we have several vehicles. We've got a what have we got? A 73 Duster that's been in the family since new, with 193,000 miles on it. We have a pair of 70s Camaros. I think each one of them have about 250 a piece on them. We've got a 89 Mustang that was in the family since it was new. I think we put 230,000 on that one. We've got I think we have 167 on the Maxima, 155 on the Honda Odyssey, and we have a 2000 Mustang that also has about 160,000 miles on it. So we usually have our hands full with at least one of them is needing something. So I'm just going to try to share it with you a little bit, because I've got about 500,000 miles experience or more just on Holley carburetors, and we'll get into that in another episode. But anyway, you guys that were looking on how just to get your Maxima back on the road, I think that's pretty well has it. And obviously you just reverse is putting all this stuff back, just panning in right here. You see, the only thing I did is I took all the fasteners out on the airbox. I didn't disconnect the mass airflow sensor or any of that stuff. I just moved it so I could just get it out of the way, so I could get access to that one sensor. And then this will probably take me 5 or 10 minutes to set this back in place, put the engine cover on, and it's good to go. And then we'll start it up and we'll see how it does. Okay, what I'm going to do before we start it, now that we have it back together, is I'm going to clear the code, so when I turn the car on, we'll see if it throws a check engine light right off or not. So I'm going to plug it in just like I showed you before. I'm going to come in under here. It's plugged in. Let's see what we got here. Read codes. It's still just coming up with that PO345. So scroll down. Here we go. Sure you want to erase your codes? Yes, I do. Okay, that's done. All right. I love when that happens. We'll see how it looks under the hood. No exhaust sputtering. Looks good.